Quite the unfortunate timing, was it not? And no, I'm not a moron. I didn't see the release date for Jade Shadows and thought to myself, there'd be a grand time to take a vacation, wouldn't it? I had the vacation booked months in advance and it just so happened to line up with the release of this update. But oh well, there's nothing we can do now other than delve into the update and see what it's all about. Before we start though, I do want to mention that I am a Warframe partner, so I got a bunch of stuff for free. Disclosure and all that. So today I mostly want to focus on the new status effect, so let's get something on the Amprex, some chamber, a bit of aptitude. And let's start off with blast, so we get a bit of thermite rounds and rhyme rounds, so we get blast and electricity. What an odd combination. I love it. This is gonna be terrific. We definitely want to get some crit in there, so let's do that. Crit delay, vital sense for some crit damage. Maybe we want to go with hammer shot as well. Maybe. Yeah, let's put it in. It's gonna help with the status as well. I can't really think of anything else I would want to put in there, so let's use Serration for now. Might as well, bit of extra crit. I guess we can leave the old sim setup in there. Impact and corrosive. Whew, alright. Why are the numbers so damn big? I am feeling the blast though, that is quite cool. I like how even though there is a cap to blast, there is an effect that happens when you reach it. Let's try it against the infested, which are weak to slash and heat. Makes sense. Oh, that's well good, my god. Okay. Me likey a lot. That's tremendous. That's good fun, that is. There we go. Oh, no, that makes radiation. Hold up. There we go. Corrosive and blast. An old school combination. Let's try the Grenier again, now with corrosive. Wowee, that is much better. Yeah, corrosive and blast, sorry. Such an unusual combination nowadays. Well, not nowadays, but it's been an unusual combination for so long. That's awesome, actually. I like that. I'm curious to see how effective it's gonna be when it's not the suggested damage type. Like, puncture and vital? Okay. Let's see how corrosive and blast does. Show me the good stuff. Okay, that's better than expected. Also, the unified resistances make this much better. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, it's not too bad. The ramp up's pretty decent. I like it. I am liking the new blast an awful lot, especially in combination with corrosive. On an AoE weapon like the Amprex, very nice. It's not, like, the damage isn't tremendous, but then again, it is not the suggested damage type for the corrupted. I'm actually ripping through them pretty fast. I'm very curious to actually see how the blast explosions are calculated. I only briefly read the patch notes, so I'm gonna have to check out the wiki later. Do bear in mind though, I am using 2 Emerald Archon charts, so I can strip them completely with just corrosion alone, which I think helps a lot. Shouldn't help as much as it used to though, because they nerfed enemy armor pretty hard and scaled up their health. Ooh, Acolyte. I am very curious to see how that's gonna go. I wouldn't call it bad, but also wouldn't call it amazing. Put me down. Yeah, not too bad, but I've seen better. Overall though, I'm liking the new blast. Next on the menu we have cold, and I'm actually just gonna use the Turned Galaxian because I have a corrosive and cold setup, which I think is gonna be pretty good. These are weak to corrosive, so we're gonna have an advantage here, but still. Oh my goodness, that is... Wowee, that is next level spike. That is ridiculous. So it's basically like the old cold, except it can freeze enemies, which doubles your crit damage. That's kind of stupid, actually. Good ramp up. Good damage, good crowd control. I have a feeling this is gonna be a very popular combination. Yeah, this is an absolute banger of an elemental combo. Corrosive and cold. Very good stuff. It's not like it was bad before. I mean, corrosive and cold was really good already, especially on crit weapons. This is fantastic. I think I'm gonna be using this a lot. One thing that I'm really liking about this so far is that there are some weapons where I would definitely prefer to go corrosive and blast for a bit of extra AoE. There are some weapons where I would go corrosive and cold if they're heavy on crit. And there are some weapons where I would prefer to go corrosive and heat if they're heavier on status and not so heavy on crit. I like that a lot. As I've said, this is gonna be a very popular combination, I think. A little bit slow on the Acolyte again, and nothing too bad. It's going down very fast still, but... I kind of expected it to go down faster. Do the Acolytes have the same resistances as the enemies in the mission? That would actually explain it. Overall, the new code, very good. Next, we have gas, which just had a visual change. I don't think there were any mechanical changes done to gas at all. Does it look different? It seems like there is a more of a, like a readable, well, not really a readable effect. It's very subtle. I think there is a different effect, but I didn't use gas an awful lot, so I'm actually not sure. I think it looks different, but I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, let's run scope. So moving on to the last one, which is magnetic. That has been buffed quite a bit against shields and nullifier bubbles, actually. Let's get a corpus battle group, which are weak to puncture and magnetic. Ooh la la, that actually does a lot of damage. Ooh, I thought we would need some like health damage, maybe a bit of puncture or something like that, but seems not. That is very good. Let's do a proper test, shall we? What about the ramp up? Not too shabby at all. The health goes down a little bit slower, but the shields disappear like nothing. I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing and reading to figure out what works and what doesn't, but it seems pretty straightforward so far. That's about as fast as before with the other setup, so maybe the acolytes do have the same resistances as the enemies in the mission. That would make sense, like, you know, why unify all the resistances and then give acolytes something else? That would be kinda silly, would it not? I have not run into a single nullifier. Or I destroyed the bubble so fast I didn't realize it, that's also an option. It does seem very effective against the corpus, which makes sense, it's the damage type you're supposed to use against them. Well, so far, so good. Alrighty then, let's get right to it. So my first impressions of the status rework are quite good. I enjoyed all of them, though I am fully aware that these weren't scientific tests. I just tried them out to see how they feel, and they all felt pretty good. What I like about it the most, especially with corrosive combinations, is that we now have options. You can go corrosive and blast if you want more AoE, you can go corrosive and heat on weapons that are not so heavy on crit or you want some damage over time, or you can go corrosive and cold if the weapon is crit heavy. I like having options. I don't like it when one thing is the best and it's the thing you're supposed to use all the time against a specific thing. I don't like that. I like having options so I can play around with stuff and not use the same thing every time. It also seems like unless the enemy is specifically resistant to the damage type you're using, it's not too bad. You don't necessarily have to match their weaknesses. It's gonna help, but you don't have to do it. You can run sort of a universal setup that will sort of work against everything, though it's only gonna be very good against specific stuff. That was the one thing I was worried about, constantly having to switch my setups depending on not just the faction but also the sub-faction I'm fighting. Like, I already don't like Bane mods because I have to constantly switch them around or I'm basically missing a mod. So not being able to have like a decent enough setup for everything would be a bit of a deal breaker for me. But as I've said already, that doesn't seem to be the case, so overall I'm pretty happy with the status and enemy resistance rework. I do need to do more testing and read the wiki and all that, but as far as feel goes, it feels pretty good. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. I would also really appreciate it if you could leave a comment down below to let me know what you think about these reworks so far. And finally, I would like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.